Welcome to another episode of Parenting in the Far North. I'm your host, Erin Bureau. Okay, full transparency. Today's guest is one of my friends. Her name is Betsey Wilson. She's a travel wizard who specializes in travel on Alaska Airlines and loves to take her 2-year-old daughter with her. Betsey wants to empower more women and moms to travel as she's been all over the states, including mostly points and miles, and soon will travel to Europe in business class. She's here today to share some of her best kept travel secrets. Please welcome to the podcast, Miss Betsey. Hello.
Thank you so much, Ariane. That was beautiful.
Right? You like that intro? Well, I mean, you sent me half of it, so.
You're right, but you nailed it.
Thank you. All right, so before we get to travel tips, we have plenty of time for that. Let's just get to know you a little bit better for our listeners. So tell me about yourself and how mom life is going with a fun 2-year-old. I have 8. You got a 2-year-old, so I kind of know a little bit what you're going through. How's that going?
I know you know. So yeah, my name is Betsey. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm a lifelong Alaskan, right? And I love living in Alaska. I really do. But and we all know we have to get out of Alaska. Like we have to R&R from our state. The snow this winter was just like overloaded. And of course, every winter it's so dark. Like travel is such an important part of our lives as Alaskans. And so when I had my daughter, I actually, I was kind of like, do I still get to travel?
Is that a thing?
I never, as a child, traveled on vacation. Of course, I traveled to the family reunions, the weddings. I think there was maybe like, I don't know, a funeral too. But I usually would travel for like a purpose, and I never really knew you could travel with your kid. And that's so odd to me that I didn't know that, because I've always been traveling even before I had my daughter. I worked in Prudhoe Bay. I had the means. I had the time. I got to travel all over the world. I went to Australia, Brazil. Those are a few of my favorites. Costa Rica, which I frequent now. And so a little bit about me. I'm just excited to travel and to help people travel and empower more people to travel. There is this world of travel hacking that is like makes it so easy and accessible to continue traveling for vacation, not just for
work or business or things like that. I love that.
And as being a 2-year-old mom, this stage is so far my favorite. Believe it or not.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
What do you love about it?
She's like reciprocating that energy.
Okay.
And she's excited about things, and she's also showing me her character, right? Like, so I have this 2-year-old who's so powerful, and I'm like, they say the child is a reflection of you. Like, I'm seeing myself, and I'm feeling proud, and she is just... She's a powerhouse, and she's really funny too. So I'm like, I built myself a comedian.
Yeah, a built-in mini-me, built-in best friend. Just wait till they get older. It's fun. I can definitely relate to that. I look at my daughter Amelia, and I'm like, wow, she's just seeing her grow and develop in her personality. It's literally like a mini-me, but also she has her own different traits and things like that. So it's fun, and they keep you busy too.
Yeah, she does, and I love that part. I really do, because I want to stay busy. I want to live life to the fullest, and seeing things through her eyes has just been really eye-opening. I feel like I'm reliving my childhood. I
love that, yeah. Well, first let me ask, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but how did you get bit by the travel bug, let alone find out all these perks that come with it? Was that kind of like over time, and we'll get into that a little bit more, but when was it like, oh yeah, this is it for me?
Yeah, I think I went into the oil field right at 17. It was my first time up in Prudhoe Bay, and I was on a rotational schedule. And of course, going from being a barista, making barista wages, to making oil field money, I was like, oh, now I can go. I can leave on my own without, my parents' permission or borrowing money from my parents. I can go, and I did. My first solo trip was to Maui.
Ooh.
Sorry.
One of my favorite places.
I know it is. So actually I went to Oahu, but then...
Still, it's Hawaii.
I was in Oahu, and people were like, no, you got to go to Maui. And I was like, oh, okay. So originally it was Oahu only, and then they were like, no, you got to go to Maui. So I went, thank God, because Maui now is like such a huge part of my whole heart. So, like, I love the people there. I've built so many, like, friends who are family there. And I could literally go at any point and, you know, just feel so welcomed. And that took a lot. That took a lot of time and a lot of trips going there. So to answer your question, I think it was, you know, just that initial trip and then going I did go with a friend, but we went, you know, without our parents. You know, we went without, like...
You kind of had that independent feel and
Yeah,
navigating it on your own.
And then I met my best friend, who I met on that trip, my first trip. Thank God I met her there. Her name is Star, and we met because we had pink hair. Yeah, we were both hiking Diamond Head, and then we were like, oh, she was traveling by herself, and we had pink hair. And we have been inseparable since that day 12 years ago.
Wow, that's amazing.
And she was a world traveler before I met her, and so she has inspired a ton of my travel. She is the girl that I say, you want to go to Bali? And she's like, yes. Like, let me go book my tickets.
Everybody needs one of those friends. I love that. Talk about not knowing you could fly with a baby for a vacation. That was kind of one of the talking points that you had sent in. Expand a little bit more on that.
Yeah, that is hilarious to me, honestly. So I am in Alaska with my husband and my daughter, and we don't have a bunch of family here. And again, I didn't really grow up traveling. I don't think a lot of us did because it wasn't accessible as it is
far away,
today.
Expensive.
Most definitely. So I didn't really know, and I didn't think about it before. I knew we would go down to Arizona where my dad lives. I knew we would go to New York where his family lives, but I didn't know I could just go on a vacation with my baby at the time. And so I remember I had my daughter in December, and it's dark. And of course, you know, we've talked about PPD before. It's really, it hit me almost immediately.
Yeah. Because
it was dark. I couldn't get outside. I'm a huge outdoor girly, right? I love snow machining. I love ice skating. And I'm like, okay, I'm literally sitting inside. And I remember thinking, am I allowed to take this baby on the plane with me? What are the rules?
Yeah.
I had no idea until I got into that moment. And finally, at the 6-week appointment, I was like, doctor, when can we go on vacation? And she's like, oh, you can go on vacation whenever you want. You can, you know, this doctor is amazing. She's like, you can do whatever you want. This is your baby. Please don't let people tell you what you can do with your baby. You can go on the airplane. She had her vaccinations for the 6-week point. And 2 days later, we were on a flight to Maui. Yeah, so
wow.
I was because I'm a serious travel girly, right?
You were like, let's go.
Yes, and so I said, that community in Maui really came together and helped us. You know, I stayed there for almost a month.
Wow. And, nice. Nice.
They all just came together and really that is the most amazing part about Maui is they're so community based and
welcoming.
So this new baby was just part of their community, and they took such great care of us, and it was so healing. I always tell moms now, especially if you have a baby in the wintertime, go somewhere warm where there's water and sunshine, and you can, you can get outside, get the fresh air. And also it was nice being in Maui where it's culturally okay to breastfeed in public, and all that felt so natural. So that was a huge part of my healing process after having my baby.
That's amazing. So when you had that trip and she was, you said 6 months old.
No, 6 weeks.
6 weeks, excuse me. Yes, 6 weeks old. So tiny. What was that experience like on the plane? You know, having her, hopefully she probably just slept most of the time there.
Ariane.
Once you landed, were you like, wow, we did this?
The best. Yeah. The best babies are the brand new babies.
Yeah, just eat and sleep.
And I mean, you got the boob. You got they're quiet. You know, they're resting. They're growing, and so I always tell everybody the first 12 to 13 months of a kid is the best time to travel with them. They usually don't walk. You know, they're just starting to crawl. Their engagement is really just the mom and the dad engaging with them. So it's so easy to entertain them. Right around 15 months is where it gets
tricky.
It's tricky. Yeah. So they're walking. They need engagement a lot more. So that first trip was oh gosh, this is so easy.
Let's do it again.
And that's when, right after that trip, I was like, okay, we're going to go on a family tour around the States. So We then got home from Maui, and it was like a weekend. And like I said, my winter time normally was like snow machining in the mountains, and that like, really wasn't like an opportunity for us to do with this small child. People do it. I will say, I've been in the snow machine community for a while, and like I know women who bring their babies to like the snow machine meetups, and they are incredible.
Wow.
Like, it is amazing to me that they do that. But we didn't want to do that, and we decided to go on like a family tour. And so like I think it was like 3 months. Yeah, it was 3 months old. We went to Arizona first. Sorry, we went to New York first.
New York, okay.
Then we went to Washington, D.C., where my sister lived. And then we went to Arizona. And then we drove from Arizona to San Diego to meet a friend and go fishing, of course, because my husband's
He's
fisherman.
A fisher, yeah.
So we went to San Diego. We drove to San Diego, spent a few days there, and then we went back to Arizona and stayed there with my dad lives in Arizona. So I was really fortunate to have, like, again, that place with water and sunshine.
Warmth.
And, like, warmth, yeah. That's so healing.
It makes such a difference. I can totally agree. It's usually, Alaskans were the snowbirds, where once winter hits, in February I was in Maui, and just something about the sunlight, even here now that we're getting the daylight, just putting your face against the window, or just let's get outside. We can see pavement. Mm-hmm. It is so key. So I love that you did that, and you're still traveling. So.
Yeah. And I think it's all snowballed.
Yeah.
And really, that travel hacking has given me all the opportunities that I've needed to continue traveling.
Which I want to get right into my next question. Travel hacking, which is what you call it. Where does one begin? So if somebody's watching you or follows you and they're like, how are you going all these places? And I know you give out a lot of great travel tips on your social media, which we'll let you share. But what is travel hacking?
Yeah, it's really, honestly, the simple way of putting it is just maximizing all the dollars that you are already spending in order to add value to that by gaining points. And really to become a pro and to like really maximize those dollars is just finding the tools like credit cards, partner programs, or, those are the two main ones, the credit cards and the partner programs, to gain more for each dollar that you're spending. And credit cards and hotels and airlines, they're all rewarding us for spending money with, either their co-branded credit card or their partner programs, or like my famous one is the Safeway one, which it's a gold mine for Alaskans. It's a gold mine. It's a no-brainer, right? Alaskans have Safeway, and Alaska Airlines has partnered with Safeway to give this to us. And it is literally, like, if you were to maximize every dollar with that program, you could earn up to 168,000 miles.
Wow. Now, is that point, like dollar to point or dollar to mile? How does that work?
So that's interesting you bring that up. It really depends, right? So, and it's not a dollar. So to earn the points at Safeway, it is $1. It's $1 per spent on groceries. But there are other ways to earn within the program to earn multiple points per dollar. Yeah, so like that $1 could be up to 10 points.
Really? Okay, and then the points, that kind of figures into your mileage, and
and then you redeem those points that you earn through Safeway for Alaska Airlines miles. And you can do up to like $3,500 a week if you maximize like every single, if you're earning that max amount of points that they're offering. I am consistently earning 1,300 Alaska Airlines miles every single week. With just a week, just with my grocery shopping and like my other spending. I mean, there is so many tools with this program. It's one of my best. I rant and rave about it all the time. And but besides that, if you want to start travel hacking, right, the best places to start is with your own budget, right? Like really honing in on what you can afford to spend and what you're already spending, right? Like, the proof is in the pudding, like what, averaging out what you spend, 6 months in advance and what you spend it on, and then pairing that spending that's necessary or that you're comfortable spending every month with something that earns you more for those dollars.
So you can get those rewards and put that toward your traveling. Okay.
And it can be layers. Like you can you can layer it with partner programs, with cashback apps. I mean, there's a huge world. It's a huge world, and a lot of people, I'm pretty novice at it. Like I know that there are people more expert than me, earning even more, but they have the money to spend too. that's the thing.
So you're earning like these big, massive rewards, but also kind of on a budget, which, kind of is the everyday, person trying to figure out. Yeah, the reality is if we all had hundreds of thousands of dollars to spend, that'd be wonderful. But for kind of your average family, these are great tips to maximize that. How does one even, if they like, oh my gosh, I've been shopping at Safeway and getting groceries and I haven't done this or linked this. Okay. How do they do that?
Yeah, most importantly is linking that Alaska Airlines account to your Cars Safeway app. You have to do this on a desktop in order to link it. And then another thing is there is a app for Cars, CARRS, and then there is another app for Safeway. The only place to redeem those Alaska Airlines miles is on the Cars app.
Okay.
So, and then, like I said, most importantly is to go online to carsqc.com, I believe, log in with that information, that phone number that you use at the grocery store.
Yeah.
We all do. We all have a phone number, whether it's like our number or our family's number.
Yes.
I have family members that use mine, thankfully, now, because now I'm earning the points.
Getting the points, I know.
Oh, that's another hack, right? Cool it. Cool it, and then share those miles. So that's really important that you add the Alaska Airlines account to your Safeway before redeeming.
Okay.
So there was some confusion, I think, last year with a few that redeemed, just went into the app and redeemed, but they didn't have it linked to their Alaska Airlines account, and they cannot recover that. It's all It's all out of their hands. Cars is dealing with Safeway's a big animal, and so it's so important that you link and you type in that number exactly as your mileage number, right? And so, and you can do that online. And then once you start earning those points at Safeway with grocery shopping, with
does gas work for that too?
Gas does not work.
Okay.
No, and a lot of people I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of people are like, oh, so when I earn points, is it better to do gas, $1 off gas? Or is it better to redeem in Alaska Airlines miles? And this is controversial, but the thing with the gas is, right? How many gallons are you putting into your bank in your tank, right? I'm guessing like 18 max. Okay, if you like went completely empty and you're spending, so that's $18. Okay, so usually Alaska Airlines miles, my minimum is redeeming them for 3 cents per mile. Okay.
Okay.
So 1,300. That's 700 points, and I'm not trying to confuse anyone,
You're
but
just throwing them,
that 700 points is equal to either 70 cents off fuel or 1,300 miles. That 70 cents times 18 is not going to compare to the value of those miles.
Yeah.
And let's just be honest, that 3 cents is my minimum. I am redeeming my Alaska Airlines miles for 10 to 15 cents per mile, especially on my international travel with Alaska Airlines miles. So that's another thing. Like Alaska Airlines miles,
it's like one hack leads you to another hack to another hack. So there's no excuse for not being able to redeem mileage because, but you have to link it on the desktop, and then how can you go and refresh to see where your mileage at? Is that through the Alaska Airlines app or through the Cars app to kind of see where you're at?
So in the Cars app, you'll see your rewards. Under your rewards will be the points, and then you can redeem those points for Alaska Airlines miles in the Cars app.
Okay.
And it does take 4 to 5 weeks to reflect on your Alaska Airlines account.
Okay. So you can kind of build them up and then redeem them. They go on. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to use them right away. Okay.
No, you don't have to. So I'm glad you brought that up as well. So you don't have to use the Alaska Airlines miles right away. They never expire. Actually, Alaska Airlines does not allow their miles to expire unless you don't have activity on your account for 2 years. So if you have no activity on your account, no earning miles, no flying or anything, then they will send you a notice that they're going to close your account.
Okay.
Okay, so but those points at Safeway, Cars or Safeway, they expire 2 months after you earn them. So it's very important that you don't let those expire. They do have an option called the Fresh Pass, which I do have. I wouldn't say it's necessary, but with that Fresh Pass, my points don't expire. So I am bulk earning those points that don't expire. However, you can redeem those 1,300 miles, like I said, for 700 points once a week. So each category that you can redeem Alaska Airlines miles for, you can redeem once a week.
Okay.
Leading to, if you, like I said in the beginning, if you were to be literally spending and earning all categories to redeem for Alaska Airlines miles, you can earn up to 14,000 Alaska Airlines miles a month.
That's incredible.
Incredible.
Just, a lot of times you go to the grocery store and you're like, oh, this costs this or this costs that. But now you can kind of breathe a little bit of sigh of relief knowing that when you're swiping and checking out, like I'm actually getting some miles and it doesn't feel like such a daunting thing. Of course, everyone talks about inflation. So you kind of feel like you're getting a reward when you're having to go buy groceries. And I did not know that. I'm learning something. I'm going right on to the mileage and checking.
Yes.
Have you help me out here on that one? Let's kind of move on to flying. I know you mentioned you travel and you have your 2-year-old daughter and you traveled with her very young, but a lot of folks, you don't go on an airplane and not see a family. You don't see, you'll see kids there. So talk about a few safety tips for traveling with a child on the flight. What was your experience?
Yeah. So I'm really glad you brought this up because traveling with my daughter, believe it or not, have had a heightened sense of anxiety for her getting taken.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's once I started traveling, there was a influx of people being like, be careful that she doesn't get taken in the airports or, be careful going to Hawaii specifically because there's a lot of trafficking there. And so I had no idea.
Yeah.
I really had no idea, right? So, this has led me to implement some really cool safety tips. And I come from a safety background working in the oil field. So really it's just I've gotten creative with it. But my number one safety tip that I love and I'm trying to promote to everybody is when you get on an airplane with your kid, it is so important to introduce them to the flight attendants, right? The flight attendants are right there. They're greeting you. Stop. Take a second and be like, hey, this is my daughter, Eliana. What's your name? So 2 reasons I do that, right? They always say, in the event of emergency, life vests will be right under you, and if needed, an infant life vest will be provided. And I was like, okay, well, where are they, right? What if you're busy, or what if you're in harm? Like, what? And it wasn't a reality. It's not a reality to know where every infant life vest or mask is on the plane. They're all different. So really, that tool of introducing them, making that connection between the two is really for them remembering that I have a kid on the plane and that that should be a priority for them. And then second, it has also been helpful to ease my anxiety if I were to have something go wrong or I was to be affected. If I was to, fly out the plane.
Oh, God. We hope not, but,
we really hope not. But crazy things have happened.
Just never know.
You never know that my daughter has a point of contact, right?
Okay.
She
recognizes, okay, flight attendant.
Because there's a lot of people getting on that plane. There's a lot of people going on. And if they recognize, that person in the uniform is a safe option for them, that eases my anxiety. And so it's been really helpful. And I implemented that around 13 months when I was starting to pay attention to what they were saying. I've always paid attention, but I'm like, wait a minute, what about when we're in an emergency? Are you going to be available or are you going to be handling that emergency before you get my daughter's face mask or life vest or whatever needs to be provided? And I have heard some feedback from others who travel in the community that a lot of airlines internationally will, when you walk on the plane, they give that to you. So, you
already
that.
have it. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, Alaska Airlines might be able to implement that in the future. I think Alaska Airlines has a lot of things they could grow to help our parents travel better. So
I love that. Good safety tip there. Remember that. Introduce to the flight attendants.
Yeah.
You wrote in here why you think moms need to travel with their children, not just for family, but for vacation. You touched on this a little bit earlier. If you want to expound on that.
Yeah. I really love this one. And becoming a mom has literally I've gained so much respect for mothers. Wow.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
Superheroes.
Yeah. Superheroes. Just oh my, everything that I've seen and people handle with grace and all that, it is mind-blowing to me. And so that brings me to, I feel like a lot of moms are focused on giving their children the best life, giving them the best vacation. And that is noble, but I really do feel that moms should, find something that has a compromise for both the kids and her to enjoy that trip. It doesn't always have to be that, Disneyland trip where it's expensive and stressful and you're just getting through it. So I just think it's so important not only for the moms to get to enjoy themselves, but to get to connect with their children in a different place because I think that builds a different type of connection. for anybody, right? Even a mom and a child or friends traveling together. Think about it. Like you travel with your friends or your family. It's like, oh, you're a different person.
Yeah,
You either love or hate it. But really, that gives you an opportunity to connect with your kid in like a different fashion, a different place, and maybe experience something new, which is going to create that connection, make that connection even stronger.
And those memories that they will take with them, like even though they say, well, kids are little, they're going to remember those experiences and memories. And you traveled with my mom, and that could be something. And your daughter's probably going to grow up and be a travel guru.
I hope so.
Be traveling a lot right alongside with you.
I really hope so.
You're also a newly entrepreneur. You're jumped into traveling. You've now made this your full-time profession. So tell me a little bit about what you do, how people can connect with you, and what you want to offer for people and families that want to get into this travel hacking.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you. Her Alaska Travels is my company name. Also, it really did start as like an Instagram, and it has kind of evolved from there. So what I can offer is guidance on how to get started travel hacking, some, inspiration through my Instagram on places that I've been with my daughter that are family friendly. I've been able to inspire people, to certain locations that, would be easy to get the points to go to and to go and actually relax and have that space where, it's family friendly, where there's a park or there's, coffee shops that they're welcoming, families to come into. And then, I really just hope to continue to inspire people, not only to travel outside of Alaska, but I think I'm shifting into like bringing families to Alaska.
Oh, that's
right?
good.
Like showing
we
Alaska.
have a lot to offer too.
Yeah, like Alaska's a big trip for a lot of people.
It is.
And I feel like a lot of people save it for the end, of their career or their, destination. And I would really like to see more families come up to Alaska with their kids, bring their kids, and I want to be able to show them the space that we have available, because I love living here, and I want to help grow Alaska.
And the travel, I love that. So people can connect with you. What's your kind of main vessels? That Instagram, Facebook,
Instagram,
and on there connects to like being able to email you or message you if they have questions.
Exactly, yeah. So I have that Instagram that I'm most prominent on.
Okay.
Facebook too, and then I have a store where you can find a few of my guides. Like the guide, I have a guide that literally lays everything out about the Safeway. It's on sale right now.
Okay.
And it lays it out. It gives you all the links to like go link your account, and then it also has a private Facebook group that you can join that I update all the promotions.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So there's a ton of layers to the Safeway. So just spending on groceries is great, but you can maximize all of the dollars you're spending outside of the grocery store at the grocery store.
You hear that? You gotta know somebody. Her name is Betsey. So go find that.
Yeah.
Some great tips. I learned a lot today, and I know you could probably talk forever about travel and travel hacking, but I will leave the last time for you. Is there anything else that you want to mention or add or say about travel hacking, traveling in general, parenting? The floor is yours.
Oh, well, thank you. I just want to empower everybody to, continue doing what you love, right? That was something that I had to learn as a mom. Like, I wasn't sure that I could continue a life that I had before becoming a mom. And so, like, I really just want to empower everyone, every woman, every family to continue doing and involving your kid in what you love. Yeah. And, like, really growing that relationship in that way. I do want to mention that I'm going to be hosting a few events in May. So I'm going to doing like a coffee and travel meetup at Cafe Bonacito.
Okay.
Bonacito, I believe, is the name. It's over off of DeBar. I will have all this information on my social media. And then on May 11th, I have something really excited planned for moms.
Oh.
And I'm teaming up with Cassandra at Bottoms.
Yes. Yes. We love Cassandra.
So I love Cassandra. Seriously.
And May is Mother's Day, so I'm kind of, okay, I'm kind of putting two and two together.
And then we're going to also be partnering or like kind of teaming up with the Fifth Avenue Mall to do like a passport to a giveaway. So there's going to be a ton of businesses in the Fifth Avenue Mall participating. I will be doing a giveaway. We'll be at Bottoms. I'll be there to kind of like talk about, travel, how to strategize travel. The travel opportunity I have, I'm going to be hosting my first group trip to Bali. And
Ooh, fun. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm really getting into the group trips, and I know we got to wrap this up, but one thing that I do want to say is, like, if you're nervous about traveling, like, find somebody else who knows how to travel, start traveling with them, and I swear you will be well taken care of.
I love that. Well, some great tips that you've shared. Betsey, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of your travel hacking. I think you need a t-shirt. #travel hacking. And thank you all for listening to another episode of Parenting in the Far North. Don't forget to like and subscribe.